Hi guys, this is video tutorial for NeutrinoParticles Editor. In this tutorial I will show you how to pass parameter from parent emitter, particles of parent emitter, to particles of attached emitter. And in the end of this tutorial we will have something like this effect. You can see we have two emitters here. First one is I called parent. Particles of this emitter has different colors, and attached emitter is child, and I called it child, and particles of that attached emitter receives the same color as their parent particle. Okay, let's start from creating new effect. Okay, let's be new system. First of all, I'm going to create a parent emitter. I'll rename it to parent. Change texture from default one to something white, like this spark score. Okay, increase the starting size from 30 to 60, for example. Yeah. Starting position is point, it's okay for our effect. Changing position will be motion with forces. I'll add gravity. By default it already has. Motion with forces already has directed force looking down. And I'll change start velocity from random vector to from path, and change the path holding shift key. I create new key points of the path, and the velocity for all particles will be taken from this path, from 0 to random point on this path. Now let's add some air resistance. 0 means no air resistance. I'll set up 0.1, and lifetime from 2 seconds increase to 5 seconds. Yep. Okay. Now let's change color of particles. By default it's white, fixed white. I'm going to set random on graph, turn on color strip, and change color gradient from this one, which is from red to yellow. I want from red to yellow and then to green color. Okay. The color for particles will be taken from this graph randomly. So we have red, yellow, and green particles. The next step is to create child emitter. I'm going to copy and paste parent emitter, rename it to child, and modify child to easily distinguish them on this scene. I'll changing position from motion to forces. I'll change starting velocity from path. Now I want random 3D vector. You can see we have child emitter changed. Reduce size to 20, so it will be small, or even better, random value from 10 to 30. And start velocity in motion with forces. Start velocity I will reduce to 10 pixels. It will be random vector with length 10. Okay, now let's attach child emitter to particles of parent emitter. To make that, you will need to switch to emitter scheme, because it's not this function is not available from EmitterGuide for now. You need to switch to emitter scheme, select parent emitter, then switch to block palette, and drag attached emitter to the scheme. When attached emitter block is selected, you can choose connected emitter. I'll choose child emitter, and you can see we have connected attached child emitter to particles of parent emitter. First of all, I will disable child emitter as standalone, so it will not be playing as standalone emitter. It will be only attached to parent particles. Now I'm going to change generation from periodic to from past distance, so particles of child emitter will be generated from distance passed by parent particles, and this distance I'm going to set up 10 pixels, and yep, let's set a little less parent particles. We have for parent emitter we have periodic rate generation rate 5 particles per second. I'll set up 1 particle per second. Okay, and just to make it a little better, I'm going to change size of attached particles. Size, starting size is random from 10 to 30, and I'll changing size to multiplier, and by default this multiplier will be over particle life from 1 to 0, so all child particles will fade out their size during their lives. Now we have this effect where all child particles has different random color as well, the same behavior as parent particles have. So for child emitter, I'm going to change color from random on graph to emitter property. I'll call this emitter property color, and you can see effect is broken. You can see this sign here, so something wrong with parent emitter. To check that, we need to select parent emitter and switch to emitter scheme. You can see that attached emitter block now has another one input called color. That's because child emitter now has another one custom property. You can check this custom property called color. So color for all particles in child will be taken from this custom property. And if the child emitter is attached to parent emitter, we need to initialize this color property properly. If we want to give child particles color of parent particle, we just need to find custom property of custom particle property from this orange set of properties in parent emitter and connect it with color input of attached emitter. And now we have desired result. Color for child particles are taken from parent particle. So that's it. It's not very simple, but it's not very complex as well. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.